Hey, we are here at Finisterre, the end of the world, in the southwestern tip of Spain, and Ben will show you the Atlantic Ocean here. It's really special to be here. We finished in Santiago around 10:30 this morning, and then did some of the traditional things that pilgrims do at the end of their finish. We went to Mass, we toured the cathedral, we got our final credential to say that we had finished. And now we're just sitting here staring at the Atlantic. We shared a taxi with 3 Italian women to get out here, and we'll spend the night and then take the bus back and finish our time tomorrow and then head home. Yeah, it was emotional just coming into the square. I cried. Just for me, that we accomplished the adventure, that we were able to do it safely with some hard work, and we were able to do it as a team in spite of our differences. So for me, it's funny that one of the symbols of the Camino is the scallop shell. Most hikers or cyclists carry it somewhere on their backpack or their bike panniers, and I kept trying to carry one and kept breaking them. So I found one here that it's a natural shell. It's kind of broken and worn, and it is just kind of my symbol for the end of the ride. I find a shell that's it's not completely whole. It's got some well-worn edges like my body and my life, and yet it has a neat symbol for me of still that I was able to complete something with the help and encouragement of 2 brothers that is really significant to reclaim and restore an adventurous spirit and the ability to be on a challenging adventure.
This is the last big climb of the trip. That's the end of our last big climb. Credencio! Yeah, still struggling against the wind.
Rode into Santiago today, which really felt like a realization of a dream for all of us, and a real significant accomplishment for Mike in particular. Yeah, and it felt even more fitting to come out here to what was thought to be the end of the world, but perhaps it's just the beginning. Certainly those who thought this was the end of the world didn't realize that so much lay beyond this as well. So maybe that's true for us. One of the things that we did in Santiago was visit the tomb, the purported remains of Santiago, the apostle James himself. And I find it hard to hold back my skepticism of that, along with many of the other myths and folklore that accompany sites along the way, along the Camino. And it's hard to know exactly what is true when you get a glimpse behind some of the stories, the creation of those myths, this folklore that had some violence, some greed, some manipulation of the masses behind it. But that doesn't mean that we can't honor what is sacred, what is true about the Camino. And this is what I think is true. What is true is that thousands, countless of pilgrims have done this trail over many years through mountain passes, past vineyards, through endless plains. What is true is the many stories that they carried with them, the burdens, the griefs, the tears. What is true is the companionship that has been shared along the way, the kindness offered by strangers, the countless blessings of Buen Camino to everyone you pass. What is true is the forgiveness that is received and offered. What is true is the burdens that are released. What is true is the courage that it simply took to make that first step on the Camino, exemplified by our compadre, now Saint Mike.
Is there a ceremony coming tonight?
Right. You truly do inspire us, Mike. Many of us. These things are true about the Camino, and I want to honor that, and I want to pray for all those who will follow us on the Camino in the many years to come. And I am deeply grateful for the grace that has accompanied us along this way.
Yeah.
Much like the rest of this journey, today came with some highs and some lows. It was incredibly joyful. We stopped just a couple miles outside of Santiago on a hillside, and we could see our destination. And also discovered that was where the disc golf course was located. So I got this beautiful vista and got to throw a few shots, something I'd been missing for the last 2 weeks. We arrived in the square, and that was a very joy-filled occasion. We passed some bagpipes on the way in that just brought a smile to our faces. But then we kind of got shuttled into the cattle shoot-like tourism of standing in long queues and being told where to go and how to move. Something that felt jarringly different than the last 2 weeks have felt. The freedom of the trail seems to be taken from us right at the end. So I am just deeply grateful for this scene here. Getting to end in this kind of way feels so much more significant for my nature-loving soul than for the masses, the throngs of pushing and shoving in the city center. I'm sure there's more to unpack there about what that says about who I am and what I believe to be true. And feeling some joy too. Many of our Mennonite siblings are in Kansas City for our biannual gathering today, and we just received word that right about the same time that we reached the end of the world, a resolution is passed to be more inclusive, at least in my mind, of our fuller and more inclusive church, and that brings me joy. This is a very idyllic spot. To be holding all of that, the highs and the lows, the things that have come before, and yeah, I feel like saying amen. Thank you for watching. We'll have a little bit more, I'm sure.